All right, I went rock collecting today with my buddies, and we found some stuff that is really good, medium good, and not so good. And I chose one of the stones that we picked up that it looks like it's going to be very difficult to get anything out of, but it may have some high quality portions within it as well. So this is like the all the extremes. Lots of cracks, right? That's bad. It's got patina, so I can't see what's inside. That's bad too. But you never know. I could crack into it and find some really good spots. All right. So that's the first video for today. I'm going to do some more videos with this rock. Also, let's see. Where's my gloves? I'm going to break into this little by little. Now, these rocks that we collected today were from a road construction site where they clear off one side of the road. They leave all the dirt exposed, and they make road cuts and stuff into the sides of these small hills, and we can see all the rocks that they tear up. And fortunately, they tore some up for us, but there's also on the ground, on the surface, existing flakes, spalls, and even artifacts. I don't have any to show, but we found some artifacts, a scraper and some bifaces and some portions of, I think it was a base of a certain point. So we know that Indians also use that area as a quarry. Okay. Yeah, so road construction through quarries is a good place to go look, for sure. All right. Now this is a very heavy stone, so let me sit this down. And I'm just going to start taking chunks off. So first off, there is concrete inside of it. But it doesn't look like it's bad. Sure. It can be heat treated, and those concrete patches can become less severe with heat. You can nap through those many times. Okay, with the heat treatment. Heat treatment for stuff like this is about 400 degrees. But you can see there's already a variation in color. But this should be good. Right here, this, even though there might be some incipient bulbs and stuff, right off the cortex is usually pretty good. And I can heat treat these, which I am going to do, at this thickness, and it'll be successful for the most part. Some of these cracks might open up with the heat treatment. You never know. But I always have the how do I say, the standard procedure is to bring it all home no matter what, and then figure out what to do with it from there. It's better to have it and be bad than not have anything at all, because at least you get some experience breaking up the stone. Okay, so yeah, we found this. This is a scraping tool. It has been worked by Native Americans, right there. Yeah. And maybe some use wear. It's worked because of the roundness like this. Worked means it's deliberately flaked to be this shape. And then use wear, after you've been using it, creates these little step fractures in many cases. And these step fractures here, after they've been using it for something. And then I found this little quarry blank that's been worked by somebody. That's not nature that does that. You can see where the flakes have been removed easily. You can see easily the flakes have been removed intentionally. Okay, and then we've got just a regular flake. I'm not sure if it's been utilized. It looks like it's been utilized. And then this one, it looks like it has been utilized. It also looks like it may have been a broken biface, a utilized broken biface, because broken bifaces are good for scrapers, you know, along the break, and then you can modify that as it wears down. You can try to do other things with it. All right. So just to give you an idea, it was a good day. All right, so let's see. This, we can always already see a lot of issues, but I can probably get some more of this type of flake from it. I'll just continue to break it down. See if we can find some interesting spots. Yeah, this can be heat treated. It's got a little bit of translucency to it. It's not really that great to nap in the raw state. Yeah, but you never know. I might find a clear spot in here that will be good to nap raw, and I'll just save the flake if I find one like that. Yeah, look at the difference in color, even within the same stone. And this might not need as much heat as this one. It might need the same or might not. And this up here is even darker. Let's see if I can peel some of that darker stuff off. You can see it grades from light to dark here. So I don't know if I'll be able to save any of this, but I can try. Because this is high grade stuff here, it doesn't need heat. This right here. Let's see. I'm trying to take off a good portion of this side so I can start hitting this way. All I'm getting is a torn towel and sparks. Let's see. All right, so yeah, this is going to be probably too small, but I might be able to get a little arrowhead out of that one. Yeah, it looks kind of grainy, so it might not be as good as I thought. Let's see if I could skim off some of this here. Yeah, it's kind of grainy, so it's not that great. Yeah, it quickly becomes very grainy. And there might be some issues with internal cracking. It can still be heat treated. So these, can you see? That's heat treatable. That one is, no, not so much. Yeah, I can heat treat that, I suppose. This one, yes. This one, yes. That one, probably not. What was I going to do? Try to make an arrowhead out of this one? Maybe. This is pretty bad. Let's see. There's a crack in here. Usually I don't mess with these, but just for the video, I wanted to see. I have a lot of this root beerish looking stuff from this site. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Pretty fractured. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with that piece. Let's move on to the rest of this. I don't think I'll be able to get anything off of that. It looks pretty weathered, like it's been exposed to the weather. That's what that means. Okay. That can be heat treated. Yeah, that can also. The chunky pieces, it's not worth the time. And also it costs money to heat treat, so it's some of these are not worth the time or money to heat treat. The thick, chunky ones. Let's see. Some of this is not cracked. I can heat treat some of that. Yeah, good heat treat candidates. A little bit curved, but it's all right. Trying to knap this stuff raw, it's not easy. But you can see, you know, I can turn this into a tool like this one pretty easily. See how that works? Okay. So I would keep this in the raw state and use it as a scraper or something. Just modify the ends a little bit. Let's see. Now, can I get a biface out of this? Let's see. This is one of those bopper destroying rocks. It might look easy to knap, but this stuff is really tough. I'm hitting it pretty hard. I gotta get the cracks out. Get it down to a reasonable thickness. I'm just using opportunistic flaking. So this is pretty much the center of the stone, right? I don't know if you guys are keeping track of where this is within that stone that I found. Ouch. Yeah, that, see, it, those kind of hits really flatten out the sides of the bopper. That hurt too. Right through the glove, I can feel the impact of the flake against my hand. People have asked me, how do you make long blades out of this stuff? And last time someone asked me that, I told them just peck and grind, because it's not worth knapping in many cases. All right, that I can't keep doing that one. Let's see. Hitting it that hard, the flakes come off so fast that it really hurts. All right. All right, so it's knapping almost like a quartzite at this stage. It's so grainy that it's almost like a quartzite. You can see a lot of it is concrete. But you can make tools out of this kind of stuff. All right, so that's the most extreme example, and I can heat treat that, so it'll get a lot better with heat treatment. Okay, all right. Let's move on to some better stuff. Someone asked me to do a video on making one of these tools, these scraping tools. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't these guys. Someone asked me, so let me just try to do it real quick. Okay. Well, that solved that problem. So it's not hard to get that roundness. So this can be used as a scraper. It's not that hard to get that contour. And that can be used as a scraper. You know, like one of these. Of course, I took off the end that was more conducive to that sort of thing, but this can still be used as an adze blade or whatnot, even though it's a little bit curved. Now to duplicate this, I need a flake that looks triangular in cross section like this. This is the closest one that I had, and I ended up snapping it. But you get the idea. Okay, hopefully. It doesn't take long at all to make those. The hardest part about making one of those scrapers is finding the initial flake. That's it. That's the hardest part. You just look through all your debitage and go, aha, that's a flake that I can make into a scraper. And, you know, take 30 seconds to make the scraper after searching for an hour for the correct flake. Okay. So we're going to go straight into another one that I think is going to be much higher quality by comparison. Go from the worst to one of the best ones that I can see. All right, this should be high grade stuff here. Same area. I think it's within a quarter mile of each other. I mean, everything's within a quarter mile. All right, so 19 minutes so far. Okay. Shed some more light on this subject. That's better. Okay. right, so there's a little bit of a difference in consistency and color. Translucency is good. Yep. Now, with some of these, sometimes with these nodules, there's concrete right in the middle. So I'm trying for the biface right in the middle. So I might end up with the biface within the worst material possible. And the best flakes are the ones that come off near the cortex, like this one. But we shall see. Now, why would Native Americans leave these behind? If I said this was a quarry site. Well, a lot of these were dug up by the machinery, so they may not have seen this one. Then they might have seen it and said, no, it's just not the correct size or type. They want even a finer grade chert. This looks pretty good. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is going to snap in half if I start to become too aggressive with it. It looks like it might not be the snap in half type of chert. We shall see. We can hope. No, that didn't work. Let's see. See if we can clear that off with a strike here. Almost. Well, I'm going to keep reminding everyone that when you try for the biface and not necessarily for good flakes, it looks like you're getting good usable flakes off of the surface, but they end up being like this, which are tossaways. Just so you can get a biface, you end up with a big stack of tossaways. Where if I was looking for big flakes, I wouldn't try to preserve these big bifaces necessarily. I would take off big flakes similar to this one so I can make a lot of little tools or little arrowheads instead of trying to preserve the whole thing for the biface. But since 99% of what I get as a request is how to conserve it for the biface, that's what I do. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's see. Need a good way to attack that without hitting that side, so it's not quite as straightforward as you might think. Let's see. I'm going to try to shoot a flake in from here, but that means I got to prepare this side, which means I'm going to probably lose some length, which means I'm not preserving it perfectly. Because when you want to make a big biface, you want to preserve the length primarily, and then the width. But since this is already quite narrow, I like having at least 2 inches. It's already 3, so I mean it's 3 inches. That's pretty narrow for this thickness. So I need to find a creative way to remove material without making it more narrow. So the only way I can see so far is to hit from the base. What do I do with it? It's the same color as my towel. That Abrader is the same color as my towel, almost. All right, let's see. Ooh, I took the tip off. But yeah. There's a tool, right? Took off a little too much. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense that that's the path of least resistance, because you would think that once it reaches this point, it would go up to this and stop and not go through the piece. But apparently it says, nope, this is not the path. I mean, bouncing this way and going that way, this is not the path of least resistance here. The least resistance is up through that for some reason. All right. Anyway, I didn't measure the length. What was it before? It was 6, and now it is 5 3/4. Well, it's not too bad, and I can use that flake. I think this is high enough quality that I can nap it raw and not need to heat treat it. And it did solve a little bit of that issue, but not as. The flake went this way more than I wanted. I wanted it to go this way, right? I hit it so it would go that way, but it went this way. All right. Yeah, it just doesn't want to go there. It doesn't want to cooperate. See that? It stopped right there. It says, no, I don't want to do that. All right. Let's try it from the other side. You can see where the copper left its mark, metal mark. So that's not a prepared striking area at all, right? You wouldn't think to call that a platform in the sense of something being prepared. So I'm calling these areas striking areas. I didn't abrade it at all, and it worked better than when I prepared the platform and stuff on the other side. So if you wonder why I do a lot of expedient napping, for some reason it seems to work better than prepared napping in many cases, like especially like this. Okay. So luckily we don't have a nasty mess in the middle. A lot of times we'll have concrete in the middle, but not this time. All right. Okay, still got a lot of mass in the middle. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Still almost have 3 inches, so that's pretty good. try to prepare it, it doesn't work. Come on. Let's see. 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Alrighty. Okay, yes, that's about as far as I want to take it with the billet, because it's a little bit unpredictable. It is high-grade stuff, which is good. Yep. It's good for free roadside rock, that's for sure. Yeah. A lot of these flakes can be made into little bird points. Yeah, high-grade stuff. Yeah, if I go further with billet, I'm not going to achieve good results. So let's switch over to indirect percussion. Pick out the good flakes I can use for other things. High grade. I got a pile for my high grade, no heat needed stuff right behind me. Yeah. Okay. So this next stage is the thinning stage. We're at 35 minutes. I guess I could do another segment. Let's see. I could do this on the next segment, thin it down. I got dust all over the camera. All right. Let's see. What do I got now? I've got, let's just say it's 65 millimeter by, if I call it 12 into 65. It's like 5 to 1. Yeah, that's a good place to start with the indirect percussion for sure. All right, so yeah, I'll split it in different segments. That's it for the first segment. Alrighty.